Hey guys, this is Comic Ken, and today we are doing it. We are changing the cover finally for Saintly number one. This is actually a printed out version that I did a long time. Well, not even that long ago. It was actually earlier this year that I printed out the first version of Chapter One in Office Depot actually, and it uses the old cover. And because I'm launching the comic in October this year, I must change it. I have to change it. Because if you notice closely, Vivi, the main character, right here, there we go. She does not look anything like what she does in the comic. Like, she literally has blue eyes in the comic. So we're changing her look. We're adding her glasses. We're changing her outfit. Not too much. It looks pretty much like what we see here. But basically, it's going to be a full-scale redraw of everything we got going. So, yeah, I can't wait to get started on that. Right now, I'm sort of in that phase where I'm looking at inspiration and developing sort of a mood board for what I want to do with this new cover and what I'm going to do to, like, spice it up and spruce it up, make it look better, improve the graphics of it while keeping the similar vibe that it had already, that it has currently, because the current cover does a lot in terms of enticing people into reading the series and drawing new readers into the story. But so I'm going to keep that same vibe, that same concept of girls running from a demon in the cover, and basically just update the graphics to what I'm currently capable of. And if you've seen the latest pool rooms piece that I completed, then this should be a really, really nice update. So that is what we're working on today. And currently on my board, I have like this actually Bizarro Superman stuff that I've been coloring up for the last couple weeks now. Right now is Saintly time, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch that, open a new file, and I think what I want to do starting off, I'm gonna go like full scale on this, like Norman Rockwell type art, not his style or his level of work, but I'm gonna do what I used to do when I had like a really good drawing that I wanted to do, which is like I would do studies of different like elements that I wanted to put in the piece, do studies of background elements, of color, of light, and how it all works, so that when I do the actual piece, it all comes together seamlessly, and I don't have to and I'm not just drawing off of my basic instincts, which is what I usually do when I'm making the comic. What I usually do when I do like the pool rooms illustration, like I'm just going off of basic instincts and just doing stuff, and it sort of works out in the end. But this time I'm gonna kind of do a mix of both, because I did get good results from last time, but I also want to put in just that little bit of extra effort to make this really special. I'm actually sending it back to my publisher for feedback, so that we can get a nice approved cover and keep pushing forward for a better overall cover to draw people into the story. So that is what we'll be working on today's show, and I appreciate you guys for coming out. I'm starting to see people flow into the chat, and I'm gonna say what's up. So let me say what's up to Massive Panda, dude. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. Let's say hi to Nick Stream. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show as well. And let's say what's up to Sideburns. Hey, thanks for coming out to the show. So we're gonna go ahead and share screen and get started. Let me see. I'm gonna have to take this Bizarro stuff off the screen because it's kind of spoilery. But the story is heating up from what I'm looking at. Let me just cancel that and cancel that. Do not save. And I'm gonna go ahead and open a new file. What do I need? I think I'm just going to start up a new flat. Let me see. Flat image. Flat. Not even flat image. I'm going to open up I'm going to hit new. And basically, yeah, I'm going to start up. Let me see if my pen has some battery. Okay, it does. Cool. All right. Let me go ahead and share screen and then bring y'all into the process. Share screen. I'm trying to think like what I like doing is flipping through some of my inspiration boards and then just collecting those together on a visref board, and then that'll help me. Okay, let me share entire screen. Share. I'm gonna put myself down here. There we go. Okay. So basically we're gonna title this like new saintly cover. Maybe I'll put number 1 cover. That way we know what it's for. And I do already have an idea of what I'm going for. Like, it's gonna be a similar to what we have now, but there was an illustration that I saw recently. Like, this is the fun part of the illustration process, where I just sort of can let my mind go wild, where I actually saw an illustration on a recent YouTube video. I don't even have the app on my is this YouTube? Okay. Oh yeah. I can't play that stuff. That's just, what's the word? I need YouTube. Where is... I watched a video by Rice Brush. YouTube. And it was about Mogoon. And there was one image in that video that I wanted to see towards the end of it. That really made me think, okay, this is something that I could probably, this is like a vibe or an angle that I could probably use for the new piece. But it wasn't any of these. It was actually later on in the video. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, I think I just passed it. Okay, so it's going to be in here. Right here, yeah. So this piece, I'm going to turn off the captions. This piece right here, actually was a pretty cool angle. This one right here. I like the angle. And basically there we go. Oh, JOM. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. Said, just saw that video. Need to study workflow video. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm gonna send this over to. What if I just copy it? Yeah, I'll copy it, and we're gonna put it on the VizRef board. Done. I'll just save it the photos just in case, but we probably have it already. Allow paste. There we go. And then that'll just be one of the references that we have. Basically, what I'm trying to do is a version of this process that I learned from this creator called Demi Raito. It should be somewhere here on the screen. Okay, yeah. And hopefully that'll pop up in a minute. It's this art planning process where before we even get started on the illustration, we have an idea in mind of how we like what we want to do, the idea we want to accomplish. Like we're putting in our main goal of like, what is your main goal? And that is basically to pull in new viewers to read the comic when it launches in October. So we have a main goal, we have a secondary goal, and I think that secondary goal is to also be super aesthetic and super pretty. It doesn't have to look like this, but it'd be cool if I did something like similar to where it's like got all this dimension and color and life to it. That's really the main thing I want to hit whenever I draw something at all. Like I want to hit that like lively element to it, but I also do want to make it look like some European covers that I see. So if I go to, let's see, these are all like dark skinned girls, different outfit ideas, characters that remind me of the characters in Saintly that I can put their vibe inside the story, or I can just do something that gives Saintly just a little bit more, like it hones. Doing a mood board helps hone in on the feeling that you want to create for the character or for the story that you're doing. So these are all like different things that I use to kind of ping off for the vibe for Stanley. Looking at all these illustrations, I like the roughness of this type of stuff, and I also like the clean line of this type of stuff. But since it's going to be a cover, I want to keep some. I want to have some of this dynamism in it, but it is a cover. And the main colors of the cover are going to be sort of this sort of blue that we have here. Vivi's eyes are sort of this color whenever they're glowing, and they're probably going to be glowing in the cover as well to show off that she has some type of special ability, some type of thing about her. So I'm gonna take this because I do want a little bit of this color here. Is there a way to just copy it? I guess just download it. and then I would add it here. Insert files. Okay. Done. Okay. So yeah. And basically we're just adding different elements from what we like. And let's see. Because the main colors of Saintly are going to be... Hey, what's up, Canvas Engineer? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. The main colors of Saintly are blue, like that bluish that we were looking at with this character here, purple, and white and black. So those are the main colors. We already know that purple is like the main color. Then the highlight colors are like blue, which would be the blue in Vivi's eyes. And I saved this character to one of my boards because she has that similar vibe, that similar look that Vivi has. And let me see. It says AI modified, but somewhere I heard that that AI modified means like it's upscaled or it's sharpened for being posted to Pinterest. So yeah, so having that eye there. But one of the main things that I do is, and this is something that I would do as a part of the process, is, where do I go? I'm going to Clip Studio. I already know kind of the poses that I want to have, but we can play with the angles here. The only elements that really need to be present on this new cover is Vivi and Chelsea and a demon. And the way I'm thinking about this cover is that this cover has to be what's the word? Oh, this is still here. Dale A. Oh, hey, what's up, Dale A? What's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. He says, what is this art planner? Yeah, this is an art planner by Demi Raito. This is actually, you can access it through his like email list. If you sign up, there's like an art planner that he came up with. And really it helps you to kind of hone in on what your goal is for a piece of like for a piece of art that you're making, so that you know what to focus on when you're drawing it and what your goal is for the actual drawing. So it's helping me to focus on like the central concept, the goals that I have for the illustration and all that stuff. So let me go here, and for the cover to Saintly #1, this new version, what I want to do more than anything really is start drawing a bunch of what's the word? Running poses. Like I want to take a bunch of poses of people running towards the camera and trying to figure out like where the life is, like where the liveliness in that pose is. Dale A, it's going to be Demi Raito. Raito. Let me see if there's the name anywhere. It's not gonna be here, but if you look up here, it'll say the name. Demi Raito. Raito. And let me say what's up to 7th October. What's up, Ralph? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. I am just working on the next cover to, not even the next cover, but it's like the main cover to Saintly. I'm redoing it because the old one is really outdated, and I'm about to launch the full webcomic in October. So that is what I planned out with my editor for the series, and that's what I'm working on today. And I like this Mogoon illustration right here. I like the angle of it. So I'm thinking it's sort of a down shot of the characters. But that's a little bit too down. Like, I don't want it to be exactly like that. Because I'm thinking I want the demon behind them to be visible. So if I do it like this, and we have to actually be conscious of the Saintly logo here as we draw it. Let's see. Jom says it's in the charge of the action and in the follow through. Yeah. The like finding the life point in the run is, it's easier said than done. Like, you can just say like, oh, it's in the charge of the you can say it, but like to actually find it, you have to draw multiple like sketches. And that's kind of like the illustration process. You have to draw sketches of the pose. You have to feel it yourself. Like, you have to actually run and feel like, where is everything rising up from? Where's the energy coming from? Like the legs, maybe it's the chest, maybe it's the arms pumping forward when you run. Like, how can I make it feel alive? And just having that thought in mind as I'm drawing is going to drive me towards questions, ideas, and results that create a more lively composition, more lively illustration in the end. Master Panda says, well then, I'm very ready for October. I can't wait to see Saintly online and also see the responses to it. Oh yeah, I can't wait as well, man. 7th October, it says, I see what you mean, Ken. Oh yeah. Incorporate the demon head breaking through the Saintly logo. Oh yeah, that'll be cool. I'm not sure if this is any value to you, but I blew up a comic cover logo on 11 by 17 to scale. It's mainly for traditional artwork, but I can factor in the comic title when I draw covers now. Oh yeah, that's what we do in like layout. Or this was a class that I took in the Cupid School, where you have the comic cover, you keep the logo in mind when you're drawing it, and that way when you actually get to the blown up version, the composition stays the same, and you're not fighting the logo when you actually draw it. So that is always something to keep in mind. It's going to be where basically you have the comic paper, you have the inside line, and then you have the further inside line where you can't let the lettering go beyond that point. And so the Saintly logo will be here. Saintly. And then everything below is where the art is going to go. And basically, I'm just looking at different comic covers to really like different manga covers, different comic covers to really like, how do we get across the feeling of what I'm creating? Like I got this Hajime no Ippo cover here. I got the Dr. Stone cover here. I actually just bought Hunter x Hunter number 38. This one has the backstory of the Phantom Troop in there, and I read that a while back. But unfortunately, it doesn't have Gon in it, and I've been wanting that character to come back to the story at some point. The Love Hina cover, like all this stuff, like a cover means something. You can have like even a motif for a cover when you have like maybe a shorter series, but personally I don't like being stuck to a motif because I just don't want to necessarily have the same type of cover be on every, like I don't want to restrict myself to the same type of cover being on every book. So we also have this cover, Freak Squeal, which is actually one of the main places where I got the idea for the cover of Saintly to begin with. But I'm trying to figure out like, I'm gonna find some poses to, I don't want to put any like nudity on the screen. Let me go to, I'm gonna just type in running pose. Let's see. John said like the logo is holding the demon back. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Which Love Hina volume cover? That was volume 1 that I pulled out there. Let's see. Okay. So we want to make sure all this stuff is well referenced, well researched. And we don't necessarily want to get AI images mixed in there. And these days, damn, I just really can't tell. So let me show you kind of what I'm looking at. Here we go. Like I'm trying to find like a character running towards, not even a character, but just a picture of a person running towards the camera in fear or something like that. But there's all these like AI images that are in the way. You know what I mean? Like this is probably AI because none of it makes sense. If there's another image, then maybe it's not AI. Maybe. It looks weird, but that's because this guy. Like, why is he up there? And why are her shoes off? Like, what the hell is this, man? And then I go over here and it's like, okay, it's the same people doing the same weird stuff, but it's from a different angle, so maybe it's not AI. Similar to this, like where it's the same people, so maybe it's not AI. It's just kind of freaky. So I'm looking for images that I can draw a character like running towards the camera. uh, scared. And basically, what we're looking for is the separation of the legs. We're looking for how the arms are moving, like this right here. This is a good, but this is like kids playing, so it's not uh necessarily the best, but the folds, the clothing folds are really strong, and the leg coming out is literally how Vivi's leg is already on the first cover. So this would be a good reference to just take a little bit and draw from. So we're just looking for, slide over. And basically, I just want to be able to draw something for the stream, so I'm not just like looking at images the whole time. Because this is gonna come together slowly over time. These days, I'm actually starting to realize, like, dang, there's like a real limitation on what I have time to do in a given day. There was actually some other work that I needed to do, for like the Bizarro stuff. The Bizarro Superman like colors and whatnot, and I had my meeting this morning. Like, I woke up at 8, had my meeting this morning. Then after the meeting, I went to basically go get that book. Came home, hadn't eaten the whole day, ate, then tried to get into some work. There was 100 other tasks that I had to take care of before those bills like turn into something bigger. Then after that, I was just like, okay, I'm too tired to even do anything, so just let me go to sleep before the stream starts. And actually, when I came back, I had to set up the stream by writing out a post and setting that up, and then I did, and then like that takes 30-40 minutes before I even start eating. Come back, eat, and then before I know it, it's like, dang, it's already time for the stream, and I haven't even gotten to the original work that I meant to do earlier. Yeah, and there's like, these days there's no time for anything really having to do with like life stuff. Here, let me expand this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a study of the balance back in school. What we do is sort of note down the different points of weight distribution. And so this leg is going to be the weight supporting leg. It's running forward, slightly bent, and it's pushing up his hip this way. So that means in contrapposto, his shoulders are going to be, well, that's a little bit high, or a little bit low. His shoulders are going to be slumped down the opposite way, which is how it shows up in the picture as well. And so this arm is going to be back. If you ever notice like running poses, when a leg is forward, that corresponding arm is usually back. And then the opposite arm is going to be forward. Okay, y'all can see what I'm doing. Midwest. Let me see. Midwest Devil. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. It says balancing life and art is hard, a constant struggle. Also, hello. What is up? Yeah. Yeah, it is like always there's something that needs to be done, and then when you need to like take some time to do something of your own, like like not even to relax or take a break, but to make sure your life doesn't fall apart. It's like, ah, crap, I need to pay that bill before it gets out of hand and the IRS comes after me or something. Like, it's always some extra stuff, and I basically have it right now on easy mode since I'm with my parents, and so I don't have to like hit the brutality of life when like when I was on my own. But somehow I'm working more now than I was before. Like every single day from morning to night I'm working or doing some type of art, doing some project, some new task that is involved in the process. And dang, I don't have space up here, so I'm gonna have to take this, make it small. Okay, there we go. I just have to do more than I was doing before, like the YouTube videos, everything. I was like in between two heavy, what's the word? Too heavy deadlines, and I still found some way somehow to make a YouTube video in the middle of it. And then that video did like 1,000 views in a day, and I was just like, what the hell? I just kind of put this out, you know, between lunch break and whatnot. But sometimes you don't even have time to celebrate like the victories because you're just continuing to work so that you can make what you're doing succeed, you know. Let's see. Okay. So just drawing stuff like this helps me to store in my memory bank an idea of where the balance of energy is going throughout the run. So it's sort of like this. Yeah. Sort of like that. The energy is flowing through his foot. And really it would help to have like a video of a runner coming towards the screen to show where the weight is being transferred. Like photos you can only tell so much because they're composed and they're still and they're flat, but through video, watching video of somebody running, you're able to get a lot more information just by observing somebody running. And then even doing the pose yourself gives you another level of information that you wouldn't have just from observing somebody do it. So in these cases, you want to try to draw the inner version of what's going on. So that's kind of like a rough out of what this kid is doing as he runs. Then I'm going to see if we can find some other good running poses. This Wedding party run looks like AI, and I hope it's not. Oh, well, yeah. There's a big robot thing in the back, which doesn't make any sense. Uh, I wonder if that's AI. It doesn't seem to be AI. But I want to get a good close-up of this particular drawing. Hmm. Okay, so they're probably actually running. I'm going to erase this here and give it space. Let's see. 7 says, I totally agree with you, Ken, on that. I forget to celebrate and get right to the next project. Yeah, yeah, same. Uh, Midwest Devil says, since you're redrawing the cover, are there going to be any changes? Oh yeah, plenty of changes. But not the not we're not changing the overall vibe of the cover. The overall vibe is these two girls running from a demon, and since it's a demon chase, supernatural horror action comedy, that's what we're gonna keep that vibe on the cover. I'm just updating Vivi's design. I'm trying to make the run feel more lively. I'm trying to update the graphics of the illustration, and I'm trying to update Chelsea's design as well and pull her up closer to the camera so that they're both there. Since it's like the protagonist and the deuteragonist. And then what? I don't know what else. So that's the basic, like the main gist of it. And I'm trying to capture like the liveliness of running. Like I'm just trying to capture that extra bit of energy and life that a pose could have. And there's tons of things that you can do with a pose to make it more lively. In fact, there's 7 exact things that I learned from a book to make a pose feel more what's the word? Feel more lively and feel more energetic. So for now, I'm just noting down like the leg placement. Like this run right here is not particularly strong or particularly what I'm going for. And we're going to keep the Dutch angle in the cover, because that always shows like a sense of unease and unrest. And I'm just noting down the position of his leg. Let me see the comments. Have you tried using spirals to help sketch out the form? I find it helps create the dimension of something coming at the camera. Oh yeah, I used to do that all the time. Let's see. Master Panda says, I found Alex Toth to be a great artist to look at when I was learning these poses. He was so good at taking these poses and exaggerating the heck out of them. Oh yeah, 100%. Midwest says, nice. Yeah, you want to have your mains up close and personal. Yep, 100%. Tuber Dondre 3551. What's up? Says, what is the webtoon called? It's called Saintly. It hasn't launched yet, but I will be launching it on Webtoons, Tapas, Global Comics, anywhere you can read comics, I'll be posting it there. So that is Saintly, and it's launching in October this year. John says, will Vivi have her glasses on the new cover? Yeah, 100% she'll have her glasses on the new cover. That is most of the reason why I'm doing a new cover, because her design in the book is different from what it looks like outside on the cover. Tuber Dondre, why are you yelling, dude? What is the webtoon called and what is it about? Midwest says Saintly, it's on his site. It's about these two best friends who borrow money from Demon Loan Shark, and that Demon Loan Shark comes back to collect. So now they're on the run, and that's basically what the cover is and why they're running on the cover. So yeah, that's the whole deal with Saintly. And it's not super complex, but every time I sit down to draw a new chapter, like, I have to be aware of a lot of story elements that I just didn't think I would have to be aware of, you know, like, okay, I'm just making sure you guys can still see the screen. Okay, good. I'm making sure that everything is still cohesive and coherent, and that people can understand the story as I'm telling it. Okay. I'm trying to capture his leg. Put down the muscles. Basically, you're just trying to capture that energy that's in there. Trying to capture, like, you're trying to imagine, like, the muscles, which ones are flexing, which ones are not. And this is all based on, like, anatomy knowledge and the knowledge of your own, like, the times that you've run. So capturing the hip action in there, and his torso is twisting slightly this way. So the midpoint would be here. And maybe that would be over there. And his head is facing backward. And basically, this is just muscle training for me at this point. It's like, we're not trying to capture the exact proportions and whatnot. We're just trying to get the energy of it. Trying to get the right energy of it. Because when we do the actual cover, we're not gonna 100% reference somebody running or somebody going in that pose. Like, I would probably even do a reference of me running in the pose just to make sure everything is accurate. I would probably even have like a jacket on, like kind of like what Vivi has, to make sure all the folds are accurate when I do the final cover, and I'm not just guessing things. But I'm not gonna slavishly follow the, what do you call it, the reference. I'm using it to ground the cartooning in a sense of reality, so that people are more or less convinced by the cover rather than having the cover be a direct reflection of reality. That's basically how Akira Toriyama draws. He doesn't draw a one-for-one representation of reality. He draws a convincing version of reality that makes you believe, like, oh, that guy definitely got punched in the gut, or that character definitely, um, you know, felt that energy, or that one's definitely kicking, or whatever he has the characters doing. All of it is meant to make you feel like, oh, this is actually happening. If you can achieve that feeling in your comics, then you're golden. Yeah, I can't wait to finally post Saintly. But after that, I'm gonna be on the clock, like, trying to get these chapters out on a timely manner, like on a timely basis. Okay, so I want to clean up this leg here and also raise it slightly, I think. Because if we look closely, this knee is right here, and the legs are more separated out, sort of like this. And this isn't even how I wouldn't. This isn't even how I actually like mark these forms. Like, I have an even more in-depth process that I learned at school from one of my teachers, where he'll mark where the foot is on the ground, and he'll look for depth indicators, like where is the landmarks of the body actually taking place in the photo reference that you're using. Like, he would actually mark it. He would and this is stuff that I used to do, like in observation drawing, like, okay, where does the back of the head line up with the knee? Is that accurate? Where does this hand line up with his body? Is that accurate? And that's all in observation, like this, all in observation drawing, like trying to figure out, like, where is all of this occurring in space? We know his arm is going to be sort of in front of his body here, so it would be on that line. Then just a bunch of stuff that I learned during school. Let me check some of these comments. John says, key points about the cover: I like the flow and energy. A team being chased by a bad guy. Why was Chelsea on the computer? I'm sure it was a funny reason, like bidding on a purse on eBay. This was back when I first created the story. She was actually on the laptop because she was what was it? She was stringing along this one guy to make her do her homework for him, or yeah, make her do her homework for school. And the guy was like, this was in an earlier version of the story, but the guy was like, I can't give you this homework unless you give me a kiss or something like that. And then she was gonna fail, or she was gonna flunk out if she didn't get that homework from him. So they went over to his house to go get the stuff, and that was when they pulled that laptop. But yeah, that was that situation. Ictus says, what is up, Total Excellence? Hey man, appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. What's up? Bomb PNG, hey, what's up? Hello. John says, drawing the perception of reality and selling like pro wrestling. Yep. Ictus says, I watched a video essay on how Akira Toriyama showcases don't tell method through character's clothing. Vegeta, for example, wearing his Saiyan armor as he slowly gets rid of it as a character arc. Oh yeah, yeah. I think I've seen some of that over time, but I haven't seen maybe that specific video you're talking about. Ictus says show don't tell method. Yeah. Uh John says, see, it was a funny reason. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we kind of pretty much accurately captured that run. I want to move these. This one doesn't need to be here. I'm gonna just clear it. I kind of like this. Move it out the way and make it smaller. This and this doesn't need to be here. We'll just clear. So I'm going to draw the girlfriend here. And part of her arm is lost in the figure of that guy. So we're going to try to capture her energy just from her shoulders and her hips. So just from seeing her shoulders, these ones are up like this. We can tell like the hips are this way, and what is it? It's like the load bearing. This is like the load bearing leg because it's up higher, and it's actually the leg that is on the ground. And like I was saying before, it's like you want to take a look at the landmarks where everything is actually at. So her hip does fall directly underneath his hand right here. And then there is his foot up here. If we draw a line straight like that, if we look at the photo, her foot is actually behind his in space. So she's behind him a little bit. So her foot falls, if we look at the actual picture, somewhere near the top of his. And she's a much smaller figure. And if we look at the picture as well, her knee sits around his calf. That's where it bends. So we can't just willy-nilly draw this character now because she's attached to a different character, and you have to always be, when you draw more than one character, it's always in proportion in relation to the other character you have on screen. And she's got kind of the same thing going on with her legs where they're kind of like this, but not necessarily apart. Let's see. Okay. So her shoulder is just basically absorbed into here. We don't even see like some arm back here at all because of the angle of the drawing. So that's kind of probably what's creating that space, that distance between her foot and his foot, because her arm, they're holding hands, but her arm is creating that extra little bit of distance. And if we capture that energy a little bit, you can really see it in the clothing. Like the clothing is probably one of the elements that will really pull in that life element besides the face and the expression. Okay. Her head is tops out right here in the actual drawing or in the actual photo. Like I said, we can't go crazy with it. We have to stay within proportion of what's already been established. Yeah, so like I was saying, like the head or the clothes will have a lot of those lively like elements, those extra elements that'll make it uh feel more alive when we actually get to the drawing of it. Okay, so her arm comes out here a little bit more, and it actually coincides with his upper forearm. If this leg is coming out and this leg is back, this arm is gonna be more than likely a little bit more forward. And here's something that's kind of hard to see because her shirt is in the way. I can't really tell the full angle of her torso. So I'm just using landmarks like her neck, her shoulders, to sort of venture a guess as to, and her legs, like to venture a guess as to where her torso might be stacked or where it might be placed somewhat. And there we go. Whoop. Basically, I like drawing things as a skeleton first. This is not a serious run. Like if your arms are out that, like you're really not trying that hard to get away from it. Like that's why this feels so much like a posed run. Because they're not hustling, you know. They're just sort of we're doing a picture, so let's act like we're trying to get away from a threat. They're not really trying to get away from anything. So it just looks superposed. If I could get a video of somebody like trying to outrun the cops or something like that, that's somebody who's hustling. That's somebody who's really running. If I could capture that energy and put it into Vivi, like you want to get into the headspace of the characters on the cover. Like you want to think like, dang, if I was running from some type of demonic force, like how would I look? Like what would my face look like? What would my pose be? Like you're just hustling, running for your life. With no care about anything else in the world but getting away from the threat. Okay, so we've pretty accurately captured this pose. There's a little bit of foreshortening on the torso. midpoint here. Okay. And then this guy, I'm not even gonna worry about that guy. Let me see what else. Oh, having a video is nice. What the hell? This, I don't know why this looks like AI. But it kind of captures what I'm looking for. But I want to see, like, is this AI rendered or is it a photo that was taken? It seems like a photo that was taken because we have this zombie guy in more than one picture. I don't like these pictures because they look creepy to me. But since I've confirmed that it's not AI, we can take a look at it. And here I'll sort of study the expression. And basically all this is doing, well, everything I'm doing right now is just storing information in my memory bank. Like, personally, my approach to drawing, like, this isn't, what's the word? A feasible approach to making comics. Like, I used to make comics like this with every panel, every page, because I was just like, oh, everything has to be perfect or else people will stop reading the comic. But you don't have to do that with every panel or page. I just thought that was the process and how it had to be. But one day I was told, like, yeah, you're going too slow, or like I realized I wasn't going fast enough doing things that way because of let me just capture the face here, because I was doing things too properly, like doing things in steps and all that, and doing studies where you don't really have to do studies for all this stuff. Like, you can just sort of do it. Like, you could just sort of just draw it once you know enough stuff. But having a little bit of extra knowledge in your database, in your mind's database, will help you bring more realism, more convincing energy to the actual drawing. Because there's so much I already know about facial expressions from reading books and from drawing thousands of expressions in the past, that I can just capture this and I know which muscles are being flexed. I may not know the names of them, but I know the muscles that are being flexed in the face. I know how to exaggerate them to make them look more lively. I know how to simplify them for a cartoon drawing. But that's stuff that took time to learn over the years. Like, I've always put draftsmanship above, I guess, making things just look pretty. Because that prettiness comes from learning how things actually work first. And then you can put all these like cheat codes on top of it, and it'll look better because you already know how the thing actually works. So one of the reasons why Akira Toriyama could draw all those like vehicles and cars the way he did in Dragon Ball is because he knows how motorcycles and vehicles work from the inside out. In fact, there's been real vehicles created from the designs that he's made in Dragon Ball, like real vehicles that you can drive, because he knows motor vehicles inside and out. He was a fanatic about cars, motorcycles, anything with an engine. He was a fanatic about it. Same way that Miyazaki is with planes. Like, he just knows how aircraft functions, and so he was able to put that in a lot of his stuff. For me, I have no idea about any of that, but I do know how the human face works, or I know how I know how the body works. So putting those things in my art, or doing those things well, is it comes naturally to me, or at this point it comes naturally because I spent so much time learning it. But anything you put your focus on for a long enough time will come to you easier. And if you do a whole bunch of studies before you draw a piece, it actually helps you knock out, or it helps you execute the final piece just that little bit easier and more convincingly when you actually get around to it. Like, in this face, or in this drawing, I know where the brain is. Like, I know where the brain sits. In fact, this skull is probably not high enough. Know where the brain sits. Know where the eyes are supposed to be. Once you can draw through things, draw inside and out, you can draw them with more convincing reality. And here I'm just going fast for the stream, but when I really put time into something, like, I'm thinking about it as well. Like, having that thought process go into your work adds that little extra layer of knowledge, or it helps you pull more knowledge from the studies that you're doing. These are muscles, like these lines come from muscles that attach to the sides of the nostrils. We're trying to capture some of the shadow of the nose here. I'm just thinking of the structure. Like, we can see the line of her nose bridge. And this is like a first pass. Like, if I were to draw it multiple times, like, it would either get better over every pass, or I would be able to hone in on different aspects of it more strongly. Let me see. Flip. Always good to flip things horizontally. Let me see what's up in the comments. Sideburn says, looks accurate already. I appreciate it, man. This says, let me see. Midwest says, Indiana Jones running from the Boulder screenshots concept art. Yeah, that might be a good ref. Um, if you are just creating a better workflow for yourself, working smarter, not harder. Hey, appreciate it, man. Uh, Man, I love Toriyama's vehicle designs. Yeah, man. Like, I actually went to Nigeria last year, and there's these little buses that I guess my parents they call them keke, which is I don't know what that means, but those are these little buses that have like a wheel in front of them. And I would take videos of those buses, and I even rode in a few, and they look like a design Toriyama would make. So either he learned about those types of vehicles in his studies, or he went there to take reference. I don't know what, but they reminded me so heavily of like uh, designs that Toriyama would come up with. Massive Panda says, I wish I had more of a handle on those more technical designs. I can pull it off, but that's only if I take forever and a day working on the design. It's very difficult. Yep, 100%. Same here. Same here. Silence Draws. What's up, Ken? Hey, everyone. Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. John says, as far as mechanical designs are concerned, make everything electric, less moving parts, or do the exact opposite, complicated steampunk style. Both are good. Yeah, man. I just don't even bother with what's it called, like mechanical designs, because I just don't have it. If I need to, I'll put it in there. Like, I had to draw the interior of a car, but it was too, what's the word? I just used a 3D model for different for the outside, for the exterior angles, and nobody can tell the difference. It's just, hey, use the 3D model, put the lines, use the lines, and then just put it into the story. So this is when I would stop on this drawing and then try to really hone in on the eyebrow and the eye. I can't zoom in more on that. That sucks. And we're capturing that lid. Let me see. Nick Stream says, as far as art style goes, what successful artist is the idealized version of yourself? As far as art style goes, what successful artist is the idealized version of yourself? The idealized version of myself. That's a good question. Successful artist? Adam Warren with Empowered. Like, he is, for me, in terms of writing and art style, he's just peak. Like, he's just actually top tier for me. Same with Jaime Hernandez, but also Ryan Otley with Invincible, even though he doesn't write. Those guys are top tier for me. And then with Air Rider, I've always wanted to capture the dynamism that you can find in what's it called? Air Gear. This manga called Air Gear. It's literally, I mean, it's borderline hentai, but it's so well drawn that that it's probably serialized just off of the strength of its drawing alone. Like, nobody can argue with how well drawn it is. It's just top of the line. Like, This guy put all his skill points into drawing, but he's writing the story just so he can draw more cool stuff. So yeah, that guy is. I'm trying to capture some of that energy in my work as well, and make my stuff fun and exciting to read. Okay, here's something that I noticed about eyes, or her eyes, and eyes in general. When they're in fear mode, the bottom lid is pushed up. She doesn't necessarily have like bags, so there wouldn't be this line, but there is a shadow underneath, which I can kind of indicate like that, but that's a little bit dark. And of course, her eyelashes here. And her eyebrow is raised. And we got her, there's muscles in the head or in the forehead that they kind of look like this. And that's where your furrowed brow comes from. And then there's more muscles that sort of look like this. And this is all before it gets to like your scalp and all that stuff. And these are the muscles that control your eyebrow raising or lowering and all that stuff. So I'm basically trying to capture there's a shadow here. There we go. I want to change the pupil inside to be a little bit more accurate as well, because she's kind of looking off into the distance. And I'm just going off of my own knowledge of where the pupil would sit inside of the eye. And we need to have more of it covered. So this is where the knowledge of how anatomy actually works, how expressions actually works, can help you exaggerate in the right direction. And this process is just kind of helping me remember a lot of the art stuff that I learned, that I taught myself over time, and that I learned at the Kubert School as well. So there's actually a heavier shadow underneath there. So if I were to do this expression in anime style and just go full-blown anime with it, yeah, this is actually pretty accurate to what she looks like. I can be more like, just by doing what is here in the drawing. Let's say we're drawing like maybe Chelsea's eye or something. Just by exaggerating what's here in this real lady's face, we pull that bottom lid up, we make a big eye, and we can't just do an eye like this. We have to make sure that the pupil is actually covered up by the bottom lid. Like, that's how you know that the character is in fear, because that is happening. This way your drawing is not just willy-nilly. You're actually basing it off of reality. And part of the reason why what's the word? Art schools don't want you drawing manga or drawing anime style at first is because a lot of people just copy the style without learning how a face even works to begin with. And so they're just busy copying like somebody else's homework, like somebody else's idealized version of a face, rather than understanding how the face works. And so they're always just getting a false idea of how things go. So another thing I can do here, since this is a more cartoonized version of it, is I can sort of ditch the whole bottom lid thing and focus on just making I'm going to keep pushing that eyelid up though. I want to keep that energy there. Making the pupil smaller. It's less important that it's touching the top lid. We want to keep that bottom lid touching, because that's what's really giving that effect of fear. And then because it's anime, you could just sort of put a line underneath and that'll get across the same idea. Let's see. Sideburn says tuk tuk buses. Yep. John says, isn't Ryan back with Battle Beast? Yep, he's back with Battle Beast. John says bigger eyes. Midwest says, hey Ken, where is the best place to send fan art? You can how have I got fan art in the past? Email. You can just send me through email. Let me put it in the chat. Yeah, anytime I get fan art, it's usually through email. I'm about to post up a piece probably tomorrow of a fan art that I got a while back. That was also really nice about Vivi. Okay. And yeah, that's my personal email where you can send fan art and basically anything else. Okay, so we've captured the eye. And basically this would be sort of closer to what Vivi's expression would be on the cover. Because she's the one that's actually feeling the fear of it, but Chelsea doesn't know what's going on just yet. At least in the course of the story. Let's see. Oh, do I need to save this? Let me see. New cover out. Save. When did I hit a Pose Maniacs thing? Full screen. No, go back to the year. Okay. Slide over. Back to this. And then now we're going to capture the actual pose. So all this stuff is basically just warm up. Oh, whoop. Slide over. Okay. don't like getting straight into a drawing until I've sort of gotten a handle of what I'm even like going for. I always want to go for like the liveliest version of the art that I can. And really that art planner helps with a lot. You know, like just figuring out like what am I even going for? Like what lighting scheme am I going for? What idea do I want to convey? Like just thinking and trending my thoughts in that direction helps me a lot. Not just randomly come up with some piece of art and it's like, hey, this is it. This is what I made. But it's like I'm thinking through everything. Every decision is deliberate, and I can uh, create a much stronger piece just by knowing what I'm going for. So here I want to capture her shoulder, get the head position just right. And I'm trying to get her hip and shoulder position correct and capture the energy there. So most of the energy is going to be right in this space over here. Like you can see where it is, like where most of that tension is in the fold of her shirt. And it's in like the bend in her body as well. So gotta accurately capture that midline. And basically, dang, that's really big. I just used the whole canvas for that. Oh, whoops. So we're like, if we look at the line of action, sort of goes like that. Like that's the flow of energy, the general flow of energy throughout her whole body. Then you got her arms doing this. But really the main energy is through her legs. So you're just trying to feel that flow, like, okay, where's that? Like this is where it curves. And if we were to do like an exaggerated version of we'd have her leg down here. And basically you're trying to get to this point in the drawing process where you've drawn so many references that you can just sort of freehand a new piece. Like you can just sort of freehand based on the reference and get something much more lively than what's on the picture. You can do something that's better than the picture just by freehanding it. As long as you know how the body works and all that stuff. Body and perspective and all that stuff. So you can do something like that, or you can find where you want to start, basically. Just capture the rough pose. Remember the line of action. Let me see. Okay. Put that leg down here. In fact, if we look at the reference, the camera angle puts that leg over here instead. You almost come together. the way they're done. That's why it's really good to check out a video of a reference rather than a picture, because a picture can only tell you so much. And sometimes the camera angle is kind of weak and you have to just make up something good. Midwest said, sent you some art, hope you like it. Oh man, I can't wait to check it out. Do you want to, would you like us to check it out on the stream? Because it's some, I don't want to like docs or anything, so we would just find a way to show it without showing your personal information and whatnot. But I always like showing any fan art I get on the stream, and just show it off and all that. So you just let me know and we'll go ahead and check it out all together. Midwest says, oh hell yeah, docs away through my art email. Okay, cool, awesome. And then Cyburn says Vizruff will let you import GIFs. Okay, that I didn't know. That's really cool, actually. Okay, let me try to get through this piece first, and then we'll go check out that art. That'll be really cool. Yeah, I'm kind of, is this her knee back here? Yeah, it's not fully bent out that way. Let's take this, what we got here so far, and just make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And then at some point, your imagination will sort of cut loose and let go. And then you can just draw freely, like basically almost a fully formed cover just for fun. Like, it'll be almost effortless because you did so much studying. So that knowledge, your mind is saturated with the knowledge to be able to draw it, and you can just knock it out pretty easily. This happens when, like, I've drawn studies of, there was one specific time that I recall the most where I was drawing like a deodorant thing. Like I was painting like some, what's it called? Old Spice deodorant with like the blue and the red and all that. And I painted it very correctly, like really, correct colors, well-drawn colors, that kind of thing on the first pass. But it was stiff and boring and basically lifeless. Like the colors were technically correct, but it was boring. Then I did another watercolor pass. I used more interesting colors. I just tossed in random teals in there for no reason. I tossed in colors that almost don't even belong together for no reason, but then it just made it more lively. So when I actually did add the red that you see in the piece, the actual blue, it felt more alive because all those other colors were splashed in there to begin with, to like start the piece off. So it just made it feel more alive in general. And you can get that same effect just by continuing to draw and then getting to that point where your mind just sort of lets loose. Like her arm is not even this foreshortened, but I'm just adding a little bit of movie magic or whatever to make it like, here's where I would want to, like, her clothes is where I'd want to really exaggerate, like the clothes like flying away from the body, and you know, the jacket flaps and all that. I like this, the energy of this fold here in the shirt, so that would stay in the original drawing, and I would move this leg back more and probably bend it a lot more as well. Not necessarily like that, but like this. And instead of her kind of, it's very straight on in the photo, but I would face it out more this way. Okay. So let's hit save. And then let's check out the art. Let me make sure I don't dox myself. And let's go into where's my Gmail? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so it's pulling up right now. For some reason, it's let's see. It's taking a minute, but I'm waiting for it to pop up on the screen so that when I switch back, you guys can see it. Okay, there we go. All right, y'all ready? It's pretty dope. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's look. This is what Midwest Devil sent. Isn't it awesome? Check that out. I like the energy in it. I like Vivi's. I like Chelsea's face especially. Like that's really good right there. And then I like the demon in the background, just with his face and the saintly logo in there. This is a really fun piece. And you're able to capture a lot of the energy just by keeping things loose and keeping the lines in there. Yeah, this is really fun, man. This is definitely going on the next monthly email that I have in the fan art section. So that's gonna be really nice. I appreciate you putting that drawing this fan art, man. Like, really appreciate it. But yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's going to be featured on the post tomorrow. I'm just gonna post on YouTube like, hey, look at this new fan art. But yeah, this is awesome, man. Let me read some of the comments. Let's see. Jump says nice. Massive says that looks absolutely awesome. Yep. Sideburn says, hey, Midwest Devil sended this. What? Yes, he's good. Check him out. He's actually cracked. He's actually really good at art, man. Like that's always nice to see, man. Appreciate it once again, dude. And fan art, like back in the day, is one of those things that I never thought I would get, like, for my own characters. It was just so far out of the realm of possibility in my head. I was just like, dang, what do people even how do people even what makes people even like characters? But yeah, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Nick Stream says that's awesome. Yeah, Yeah, very awesome. Um, so yeah, that's going on tomorrow's post, and that's gonna be really fun to see. What else we got here, man? Let me see what time it is. Midwest says, I go by Spooky Lolly everywhere. By the way, I forgot which account I was on today. Oh, yeah, I was just like, Midwest Devil. Okay. But then I saw the signature in the piece, and I was just like, wait a minute, it's a different signature. So Spooky Lolly. Okay. I thought it was Spooky Doll or something right at first. But yeah, that's a dope signature. Nice. Yeah, I really like the demon thing in the back. That's cool. Awesome. All right, so let me see what else we can do here. I can't get mogged by by Midwest Devil. That's gonna be crazy, man. I have to draw this. I have to draw my heart out now. Let me see. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's another technique that I used to use as well. Which is Oh, John says rip Dolly. Oh yeah, Dolly Parton. Man, people have just been dropping left and right this week. Like Dolly Parton. There was this other lady, forget her name, but she did like some art. She was like this 97-year-old Japanese artist. There was Tim Curry, the voice actor for like Nigel Thornberry. And then now Peter Cullen with and Hayden Panettiere like just last week. So it's just like wow, something in the air. But you know, a lot of them were just older people in general. So like Peter Cullen, Tim Curry, Dolly Parton, they were in their like 80s. So yeah. Hey, Joseph Lopez, what's up, man? Appreciate it. Appreciate you coming out to the show. Midwest says, thanks. The name is based on Halloween candy. Scary Lollipop, Spooky Lolly. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, everybody comes across their own name in different ways. Let me see. So this is another technique that I use called automatic drawing. And the way one of my mentors, Nick Patera, explained it to me is that you're literally just drawing with the white of the page. Like you're putting down lines, but the white is drawing your art rather than you drawing lines with the black. And it's something you have to sort of turn off your mind to let it go. And then you start to see different shapes. Like I can see Vivi in here, and then I can start to see Chelsea in here. And you start to see different shapes and placements and where you want the characters to be. Like all these different techniques kind of help you make a better piece overall once you're done. And I could just drop that layer and then do something else. One of the things is in composition, like since Vivi is the main character, she would be in a higher position. Even on the main cover, she's in a higher position. She'd be just a little bit higher than her friend, even though she's actually shorter than her. She'd be higher than her friend, so the perspective would do the rest of that work, where she'd be lower or maybe further in the back. And then to show like that they're friends, we'd have them like holding hands, and then Chelsea would be in the back. She'd be smiling because that's like her main like character trait, and it also symbolizes, like, shows that she doesn't actually know what's going on, because she's just a normal human, so she doesn't know that there's even a chase happening. She's just happy to be there. And then the demon would be here, and the logo would be there. Let's see. Michael Wright too? I don't know who Michael Wright is, actually. Let's see. Cyburn says a lot were old age except Hayden. Yep, true. Nick Stream says I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. Someone else might pass. Don't even worry about it, man. That's just normal. That's just the way things go. Everybody in a better place now. But here we go. Okay, you guys can see what I'm doing. And this is kind of like the messy start of everything. Like, anytime you do a new piece of art, it's like, damn, I want to get to the part where it looks cool and awesome and everybody loves me. You know, it's like, I want to get to that awesome part where everything looks dope and awesome and cool and stuff. Wait a minute. You know, I had them running this way on the previous cover. But if I really wanted to make a better composition, they'd be running this way, like from left to right, because that's the reading order in America. So they'd be running this way. Vivi would be positioned this way. So that's the first major change. Like, it's literally just going to be a flip. The first major change is going to be Vivi being on this side and Chelsea being over here. And this is how you start to think and break down the art based on thought. Like, the prettiness of the art, like, I can make anything look pretty, but if the thought isn't put in there first, it won't really mean anything. Like, the prettiness won't really add anything to it. It'll just look like a shiny piece of art. But just this one thought of Vivi running in this direction, because we're reading in an American reading order, that's more important to put that there. Like, I can't do a JJK type cover where it's just some cool character with their hand doing something and their face being like a crazy guy. Like, this is what a JJK cover would be. And it would be JJK written in Japanese or something. JJK, and then somebody has some cool hand doing something with like some magic, some cursed energy coming off of it. But that's not what that describes JJK, but it doesn't describe Saintly. So like, you, for your own series, like, you'd have to figure out like what describes the vibe of the series. And basically that cover says it all. Like, the original cover says what it needs to say about the story as a whole. Like, the cover is meant to give you a story as a snapshot. Like it captures the whole in a snapshot, what the story is going to be about, and helps it stand out to readers. So we got two characters running. If it's two characters running like this on a completely straight background, that's boring. But then if we tip it to the side slightly, boom, now there's a little bit more dynamism. And it's saving for some reason. Oh, that's because I'm at 400 DPI for some godforsaken reason. Um, but if I tip it this side, if I tip it this way, that has a different meaning that isn't quite as powerful, especially because we're having the characters run towards from right to left. So if it's tipped this way, it doesn't make as much sense. So you can break down composition just by thinking about, okay, which way do I need this to tilt? I need it to tilt this way. So we're gonna have the characters be running in this direction. Five heartbeats, Michael Wright. Yeah, even that I don't that doesn't help me understand. Midwest says, "Hey, Kubo did it first. Gege copying my goat's covers." Yeah, I've always had this thought about JK where it's like you can tell that the biggest influences were Bleach and Hunter x Hunter, but it's like a Bleach without drip. Like none of the characters have as much drip as Bleach characters, and the power system is not as cohesive and strong as Hunter x Hunter's power system. Because he borrows a lot from Hunter x Hunter's power system, but it has Hunter x Hunter's power system has like a foundational element to it that grounds everything and makes you understand like, oh, this is how it works. Whereas there's always a new update to the rules of JJK's power system, and it's just like, man, this is a lot to follow. But I think that's what people really like about the series. I just always thought of it as like a dripless, Bleach. Like everybody's just wearing the same sort of black, stuff, and it's just like, dang, can we? I mean, Ichigo's wearing a black kimono, but he's still got some, like, that's still drip. Like, he's still got some drip, and then he goes Bankai, and then it's even more drip. Then he has the hollow mask on, and it's a wrap from there. Like, there's no way that JJK is touching that at all. I just don't see it. But people like it, I mean, like that's just what's popular these days. And it's just not my thing, but I mean, I like watching the anime when it comes out. Let's see. John says, "What is the style of Saintly? If you had it to put it in words, well, to put it in the words that other people tell me is like, it has that like early 2000s style. It's like Y2K. Some people have described it almost like Totally Spies, even. And I can't help it, and I also am not doing it deliberately. It's just sort of baked into the style of work I do because it's in my personality. You know what I mean? Like the way somebody draws is almost intrinsically tied to like who they are as a person. Like it's tied to your personality, the things that you like watching or like reading or like looking at. That's how you'll end up drawing, whether you like it or not. And you could be trying to do a different style, but it's still gonna be in there the way you actually draw. So yeah, my style is like early 2000s, but there's also a weird creepy element when it comes to like the villains and the monster designs that make it so much more, that throw a whole wrench into the weirdness of the series and how it looks. So yeah, there's all of that in there, All right. Let me check out some more comments, and I'm gonna head out in a little bit because I do have other work to be doing for Bizarro Superman and just other like clerical stuff in general. But yeah, I'm gonna be heading off in like maybe 5-10 minutes and get to work on those things. Let's see. Midwest says, "It's so true. Nothing comes close to the absolute unit that is the phrase Bankai. Yeah, man, like just that first Bankai of Ichigo is such a huge moment for the entire series that it's like, dang, it sets. I'm not saying it sets the tone, but it's just like it sets that vibe of what a Bankai is supposed to feel like, or it sets the vibe of what a uh, power, power up is supposed to like. Is supposed to feel like. I guess for that age, um, it was just a different vibe back then. And Kubo is often considered like the quote unquote like weakest author out of the big three. Um, I guess in terms of story writing, but he knew how to make a moment and he knew how to draw cool looking characters. Nobody could beat him in that department. So yeah, yeah, it's just really awesome. Cyburn says, I like Bleach's world building with hollows and reapers. Oh yeah. Kubo is unmatched with the fits. Yep. Nobody goes as hard with the fits as Kubo. Um when people get super mad, they say Bankai. And it goes hard. Yep. Bleach, Thousand Year War. We get the drippiest Bankai moment ever in episode 45 of Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. Oh yeah, yeah. I've been seeing clips of it online. I haven't been following the Thousand Year Blood War at all. Um, I think I read some of it back in the day, but I'm not gonna like sit here and what is it, trying to LARP as like a hardcore Bleach fan. Like I want to be really into that moment where Orihime gets that that glow up, that moment that was in the latest episode where everybody's just like uh you know, Orihime's top tier now. She's like, you know, GOAT status. But for Bleach, I think I dropped it somewhere after Waco Mundo. So I read everything and watched everything up to when what's his name? Kenpachi fights with Noritora. And then after that, it was just a bunch of like random fights in the in Karakura town. And basically the way I read it, I skipped all those fights because I was just like, none of this is important. I'm gonna read Ichigo's journey. I'm gonna read Ichigo's fights because everyone else is just, you know, defeating random villains and stuff. Then I watched Ichigo defeat Aizen, and then, well, spoiler alert, but I watched that. Then I read the full Bringer arc, and that was cool. And then I read the beginning of the Thousand Year Blood War, up to the point where the Squad Zero came in. And then at the very end, I read how Ichigo defeated the final villain, Yhwach Batch, and then I saw the end and read that, and then I read the newest like Hell arc piece, and that was really nice too. But yeah, I don't really read manga in a linear way, like every chapter, because I don't have all the time in the world. Like if I had all the time in the world, I'd be on every Netflix series, every manga chapter, everything. But yeah, even back then, I wasn't reading everything. Um, but yeah, Soul Society arc is top tier for me still. Um, But Thousand Year Blood War arc really started off strong as well. Let's see. Kubo made me remember all the captains and vice captains. Oh yeah, because they are really well designed. Just on the surface, like they want you to know what they're like. Black Skulls 11, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. I'm actually about to end. Um, John says that's how invested in the story I became when it first appeared. Oh yeah. Then memorize the Arancars, the Espada. Yeah, yeah. That was all dope. The Full Bring arc is super intense. It's much better on a second read. I should read it a second time because the first time I was just um, like all his friends are that guy. What's his name? Tsukishima or something. Like he was replacing um all the memories of Ichigo's friends and whatnot, and implanting himself in their memories, making it seem like he was their best friend the whole time, and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a neat little arc, and it gave Ichigo his powers back, and it was after a time skip, like a 17, like 2 year time skip. Let's see. Midwest says week by week it's slow, it's annoying, but all in one go it's crazy good. Okay, yeah, because week by week, Kubo would like the story would be super like decompressed, so you wouldn't get that much information on a week by week basis. And then if you read it all together at once, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it all, I understand it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. We just did some like ideation, basically, like ideation and studies, just figuring out like, these characters are running, these characters are doing this, these characters are doing that. Let's just get the vibe and start going towards the right direction with this. So yeah, that's that. What am I gonna do afterward? I'm probably gonna eat and then put in some more work on this other assignment that I have, and then go to sleep and then do the same thing again tomorrow. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming out to the show. I appreciate Spooky Lolly or Midwest Devil for the fan art. That is going to be posted. That's going to be in the newsletter for the next month as well, for the month of September. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me check out the last comments. Let's see. Midwest says nothing like waiting a week for a chapter of talking in a battle manga. Yep, that's true. Black Skull says, God bless you, man. Have a great night. You do the same. Thank you guys for coming out to the show, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Midwest says it was super fun to draw. Thanks. Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, y'all. Peace.